The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
My chief of staff.
I'm right here.
Please send him the journalistic code of ethics.
Jonathan Martin is a senior political reporter for Politico and broke the original story. I assume you've read the journalistic code of ethics, whatever that is.
I've got my copy well thumbed, Andrea.
Yeah. No, Jonathan, really.
This is an interesting story in what I'm about to tell you. A Google search today by my producer for the name Sharon Bialik, that's the accuser, and it was done in the Google search, Sharon Bialik. It came back with the results, Sharon Bialik, the Cain accuser, and David Axelrod, who was Obama's brain. And a link to the website, freerepublic.com, was then broken. The result that came up said this thread has been pulled on 11/7/2011 at 1:09 p.m. by administrating moderator, reason misleading. Apparently, Sharon Bialik has lived and worked in Chicago for years. Do you believe it's possible that David Axelrod somehow unleashed this woman on the American public to attack Cain? And that leads us to this question. Why does Obama fear, what does he fear about Cain? I mean, I can pretty much tell you what Obama would fear about Herman Cain. Obama is everything that Herman Cain isn't. Obama is a pretender while Herman Cain is the real McCoy. Herman Cain is a really successful man who did it on his own, while Obama is the product of numerous things, the most important thing being a creation of the left-wing fanatics who want to take over and destroy America, in my opinion. Now, why would the media be obsessed with Herman Cain and get away with this is the thing? Why did they give Jesse Jackson a pass on his sexcapades when he was running for the presidency? Do you remember that? Why do they give Al Sharpton a pass with regard to Detective Pagonis and the Freddy's Fashion Mart fire? Why? Because the media is what the media is. I have never seen anything like this. In my entire life, I have never seen anything as low as today's press conference. I don't know how we can live as a nation if we live in a nation filled with such people. I can tell you this, glorified Olmeds is the reason, in my opinion, the legal profession is hated. Not solely Gloria Olmeds, but she typifies the worst amongst the legal profession. And I have to ask you, is there a profession you despise more than the legal profession, aside from TV commentators like Wolf Blitzer? What is your worst lawyer horror story? Have you seen anything lower than the TV presenters who are covering the Cain accuser case? Do you believe that the accuser may have come on to Herman Cain and he rejected her? Is it possible that Herman Cain rejected her and that she never forgot it? Who do you believe more, her or him? Why has the media refused to pursue accusations against Jesse Jackson with the same vigor as those against Herman Cain? Why is the media ignoring all of the charges against Obama, for example? There's a bigger story. Let's say you think it's solved. Many people don't think it's solved. How about the issue of Obama and his birth certificate? You say, well, that's been resolved. It hasn't been resolved to the satisfaction of many people. Why has the media ignored that issue while they're pursuing the false allegations of sexual issues with regard to Herman Cain? See, what bothers me most about this is not that they found some human being, a walking piece of dough without a soul, to come up and say he did this, he did that, he came on to me and I was shocked and I never forgot it. You believe that, Chaza? You believe a Chaza like that? That's the first time in the life a man ever asked her for a thing like that? I mean, let's clear the air and talk like people. Could you believe a Chaza like that? That's the first time a man ever asked her for that, if that's true. What, she never, no one ever said it to her before or after? Her heart was broken by it. Her life was ruined. Are you kidding me? And the media takes this Chaza seriously? It's unbelievable to me. How can anyone hold a press conference in the Friars Club when glorified Olmeds comes out? How is it possible that we're living in a country that's debased like this? So I've seen a lot in my media career. I've never seen anything on this level. Never. To see a left-wing lawyer like Gloria Olmeds from L.A. find a new liar to accuse Cain is amazing to me. For the accuser to claim he made a pass at her when she was trying to get a job after she had been fired from the National Restaurant Association. Now, why did they fire her? Did anyone ask the geniuses in the media why they fired her? Why would they fire the Chaza? What was she fired for in the 90s? What is the real motivation for her coming out right now? It's to destroy Herman Cain. Who is it who dug her up? So that leads me to you. How about Obama's past? associations? How about Obama's Social Security number from one of the New England states? How come they haven't doggedly pursued her? How about the Lord of the Fries? How come they haven't pursued Michelle Obama, the Lord of the Fries, and her associations of the past? How about her raise at the university, where she went from a hospital administrator making X, and suddenly she made about 5 times more money? How come there's been no pursuit of that? The Lord of the Fries should be pursued. Or how about Obama running off to Bali again this week? Why is that not a story? How about some of the other scandals that are circulating around Obama that they never talk about? How is that? How is it possible? How is this possible? 1-800-449-8255. Now, what's interesting to me is that glorified Olmeds, came out and said that the human Bialy, the soulless piece of dough that came out today, is a lifetime Republican. Why would she say that? Why would we have to hear that? If that is true, it means the hits are coming from the Republican National Committee, because they fear Kaine as much as Obama does. Remember, Obama could never win in a debate with Kaine for 2 reasons. 1, Kaine has nothing to hide, while Obama has everything to hide. 2, while Kaine is a slow-speaking man, he actually makes sense to the average American about making government smaller, about making China pay more. Let's go down the list at another time, while Obama is selling the country out at a faster rate as he possibly can. Why is he going to Bali again at a time like this? Bob in Pittsburgh, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's your take on this?
Hey, it infuriates me that they're trying to take down Kaine like this. I mean, after all the years of not going after Obama, where's Obama's old girlfriends? And what about some of those charges? And you know what they are about Obama when he was a youth, and some of the things that he's alleged to have done in his sexual history. I mean,
that's correct. That is correct. That came up for a while, and then it was quickly buried. Nobody ever pursued it. Why?
Throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks on Herman Cain. It really infuriates. I hate the media. I can't stand the media. I mean, I hope they get cancer and die. That's how mad I am when I see this kind of stuff going on.
Right. You don't have to like Cain as a candidate to support Cain, the human being, for being ripped apart like this by the vermin. These are the lowest people on the planet, what we're seeing now. We are seeing the equivalent of something out of the Stalinist Russian years. I've never seen anything like it. And I got to say again, I personalize this because I have been the victim of a smear campaign by Media Matters and the other vermin who, if I had the power, I'd put them in prison and take their assets for what they've done to me and other people. But I don't have any power. All I have is my own audience and my own truth. And the fact is I'm not going to sit by and let them do this to Cain without fighting for him. I don't care whether he comes on the show or not. I have never seen a nation wallowing in pig you-know-what like they're doing with Cain. And to see these fraudulent white liberals, one after the other, like Wolf Blitzer, who allegedly is a human being, and the others who are allegedly human beings do this to a man and get away with it with impunity is amazing to me. Nobody calls them on the carpet. So I have outrage at this. You understand? I have outrage. It's sickening. What about Obama's scandals? What about Obama's birth certificate? Why do we never hear any of that? What about all of the others on the left who are given a pass by the vermin in the media? Something is wrong with this picture, and the wrong can only be made right by us talking about it, and that's why I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. Sacramento, Daisha, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hey, I just had to call real quick as a woman. If you listen to this woman's voice discussing her supposed sexual harassment charge against Herman Cain, she sounds like a robot. She's robotic. She has absolutely no truth coming out of her mouth. And as a woman, and every woman that's listening, you folks know what I'm talking about. If you were done like that, you know you'd be passionate about it. You wouldn't sit there with some pre-written statement. You're going to say it with passion. You're going to say it with absolute validity because you know you were disrespected. This woman is a liar. She's a thief.
Daisha, why did she wait 12 years? But, you know, the first thing that hits me is when she steps on the stage with a person who has the reputation of glorified Olmeds and the ghoul lawyer that is her partner. Did you see the face of the lawyer? Did you watch the press conference?
I actually did not. I turned on your program about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, well, you cannot believe the faces of these two lawyers. You know who glorified Olmeds is, don't you?
I know. Typical Gloria.
All right, so anytime there's somebody with a scandal or a fake scandal or a claim, this one will come out of the Black Lagoon and come up with it. But the fact of the matter is we're dealing with a decent man who's being smeared by these people. I, as an individual who may or may not vote for him, have to tell you I can't sit here and watch this without attacking for him.
Well, of course.
Why are black women in this country so silent as this goes on against the decent black man? Forget whether you're a liberal or a conservative. Doesn't it bother decent black women to see a decent black man ripped to shreds like this by white liberals?
Interesting, because actually I am African American, and I will say that this has happened over and over again to any conservative black man, and it's typical of Republicans to tuck their tails and run every time. I can't believe those two men called a minute ago saying he needs to back down, he needs to go away. No, he needs to stand firm. He needs to look people straight in the eye. And
that's right. I wouldn't quit if I were him. I'd dig my heels in now. I would run even harder.
That's admitting guilt. If he stops now, he's admitting guilt, and he's allowing this unbelievable leftist media to win. And I say, absolutely not. Stand up and say no. This is not going to keep going on. If you got Obama having a free shot with, oh, my God, we don't even know where the guys come from.
That's right. That's right. How about his multiple Social Security cards? How about the man taking apart the U.S. military? How about the man engaging in one illegal war after another? How about the man burning out the economy with money to his friends? Why are those not issues?
Exactly. That is my point, and I would say it's because people are not using their brains. They're so brainwashed when someone starts flapping their mouth about some supposed allegation. They have to keep in mind this is his word against her word, and I can't believe she waited 12 years if it was such a terrible experience.
Well, remember now, this creature, this piece of human dough in a dress, was fired from the National Restaurant Association and went to him for a job. Why was she fired? What had she done? Was she coming on to other men at the restaurant? Was she out of control, sexually out of control? How do we know any of this?
Well, we're not going to know because our media...
I mean, there are women who are sexually promiscuous. Let's start with that. I'm not saying she is, but is it possible she was coming on to so many men they had to let her go? Is it possible?
Absolutely. It's absolutely possible, and that's a valid point and a valid question, and people should be asking that.
I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm sending you a copy of Abuse of Power.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.